So previously we talked about identifying what our needs are, and then we talked about how we define our needs. Today we're going to focus on when we can recognize our needs are being met. The better we recognize our needs being met, we can reinforce them to continue to be met. You might be familiar with Gottman research. Gottmans are couples researchers, and they say that in healthy relationships, about 70% of the time, we are aware of our emotional, our relational affection needs are being met, and they label them as bids. So they say in a healthy relationship, about 70% of healthy bids are being recognized, which means in a healthy relationship, we're going to miss 30% of the times where our partners are meeting our affection needs. An unhealthy relationship that goes down a lot more where we're not recognizing when our partner is meeting our relationship needs, is meeting those emotional bids that we have. And it's important for us to be aware of when our needs are being met so that we have a balanced view of our relationship. That if we're only seeing the negative things or the bad things we don't like about the relationship, and we are missing or minimizing when our needs are being met and the healthy things about our relationship, our reality of our relationship, it looks skewed. It looks like there's problems, there's issues, things aren't working, and we're missing and minimizing those other important pieces of here are times when the relationship is working well. So we're going to only see our relationship in this light because we're not paying attention to things that are happening here. When, again, likely there are these things happening over here. And if we can recognize them, again, we can have a more balanced view of what the relationship is looking like. And that can be hard to do because that's just not the way our brain is wired. Our brain is wired to pay attention to things that we don't like or things that aren't working for us because our brain wants us to see those things and address them to make changes there. So it's not going to code when you actually did wash the dishes or when you did say that kind thing to me, the same way it's going to code when you did not wash the dishes or when you ignored something I said to you. So we have to be intentional in saying that again, so we can have the most balanced perspective of what our relationship truly looks like. And that means then we have to be intentional in one, first expressing what our needs are. So as to share before, if there's a need for communication, expressing what communication looks like and what that means to you. If there's a need for fidelity, expressing what fidelity looks like. If there's a need for financial security, expressing what that needs like. If there's a need for collaboration, how do we collaborate in this house so that we can function the best way? Being able to communicate those things and giving real, concrete, specific as possible examples of how that need can be met. And when we see that need being met, then we want to give feedback. I appreciate when you came and you gave me that hug. If I have a need for affection, that's going to meet that affection need. So thanks, I felt really good when you came and hugged me. We give me that feedback in the moment. Oh, it feels so good when you hold me. We might get feedback afterwards in reflection. That text message, it was really nice when we cuddled in the bed last night. We're going to give that feedback because we want those behaviors to continue. So we're going to try to build on them. We're going to express our like and desire for it, how those things made us feel, to encourage that person to keep doing those things, but also to show that I see what you're doing. I recognize what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing. I like those things so that they can feel good and they can feel seen in the things that we're doing. So identify what our needs are, being able to define those needs, and then when our partners are meeting those needs, for us to be able to recognize that and then give them that positive feedback to encourage them to continue to meet those needs for us. Being very strategic and intentional that you're going to be looking for these needs to be met, and it might even start off with small things that your partner or your spouse is doing, looking for those small things so it can build into something larger. And practice those things and let us know how that works for you.